The Silent Ice. In May 1845, two ships, the HMS Erebus and HMS Terror, sailed from England under the command of Sir John Franklin. Their mission was to discover the last unexplored section of the Northwest Passage through the Arctic. 129 officers and crew waved goodbye. None of them would return alive. The expedition disappeared into the frozen Arctic, and for years, no one knew what had become of it. Search parties found almost nothing. Then, in 1859, a rescue team uncovered a small stone cairn on King William Island. Inside was a handwritten note. The first message, written in 1847, was optimistic. The ships had wintered successfully, and all well. Around the edges of that same paper, another message had been squeezed into every available space a year later. Everything had changed. Sir John Franklin was dead. The ships had been trapped in ice for nearly 2 years. The survivors had abandoned them. 105 exhausted men had begun walking south across one of the harshest landscapes on Earth. That was the last official record they ever left behind. Years later, Inuit hunters described strange encounters with starving white men dragging heavy boats across the ice. Some collapsed where they stood, others wandered without direction, weakened by hunger and disease. When investigators eventually discovered skeletons scattered across the Arctic, they noticed something deeply unsettling. Several bones had cut marks. Modern forensic analysis confirmed what Victorian society refused to believe for generations. Some of the starving sailors had resorted to cannibalism in a desperate attempt to survive. It hadn't saved them. Not a single member of the expedition lived to tell the story. More than 160 years later, scientists finally located the wrecks of both ships beneath the icy waters of the Canadian Arctic. They were remarkably well preserved, resting silently where they had waited for generations. The discovery answered one mystery, but not the final days of the men themselves. No diary tells us what they said to one another. No survivor explains why they left the relative safety of the ships. No one knows who was the last man alive. Perhaps the Arctic keeps some stories for itself. The ice remembers, but it does not speak.